Thank you for joining me on this session on knowing yourself and knowing your client. My name's Deb Duncan. I'm the training and coaching lead for Total HRM, and I'm a great believer in getting you into your comfort zone before you get out of it. So today, this 25-minute session is really about understanding yourself a little bit and also understanding how your clients see you as well. So as you know, sales can be really high pressure. And knowing your selling style is really critical to knowing and winning that client. So I'm going to explore some areas that could help have you winning the client with some tips from today. And it is a bit of a fun half-hour session on sales behavior. So let's get started. So do remember that the confidence you have in yourself is directly proportional to your success. And so whenever you're talking to a client, it's really important to have that confidence and freedom to be yourself as well. So let's explore a little bit more. Okay, so just go to the next. Whoops. Okay, so what is best practice customer service? So knowing the difference between basic customer service and service relationship building is critical if you want to win every quote and every selling experience and making that client feel special. Knowing your personal communication style is important. Identifying your customers' needs quickly and bringing them into a sharper focus so you're not wasting time, as we sometimes do. Know how to say it to your client in the way the client needs to hear it. Whoops, sorry, needs to hear it. Whoops, where are we? And really winning every client from your competitor. Okay, so let me see if I can get that slide up there.
I'm not seeing her slides.
Oh, she's not sliding through.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so yes, sorry, knowing the difference between the basic customer service and the customer service and relationship building is important. So people may not remember what you look like or what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel, and that's absolutely critical. Okay, now I'm going to have a look at this next model, which I think whoops, if I can get that to work. Here we go. You may have seen this model. It's really fantastic. It's called the moment of truth model, and it's a gem actually, and you'll get so much out of this for yourself and your businesses. It's a model that's been used all around the world. It's a very old model, as you can see by the 1989 sign on the bottom, but it still works for today, and behavior is the same with humans, whatever date we put on it. What it is moment of truth is an example of the moment of truth is when you get that aha moment that I've really achieved something. For example, if you're buying something online and then all of a sudden you get a confirmation code, and that's called a moment of truth. So if you go onto Google and you type in the moment of truth, you'll find that there's so much information there about this, and it's so fabulous to know this before you sell. So if you have a look at this, it says that there are inputs from either side. There's inputs from the customer and there's inputs from the service assistant, okay, or the service giver. Okay, the inputs are the attitudes, values, beliefs, wants, feelings, and expectations from the customer's frame of reference and your frame of reference as well. So what are your attitudes, your values, your beliefs, your wants, your feelings, and your expectations? So if you look at this from a business perspective, from your own perspective, and you go to work in the morning and you've had a horrible morning, you can't park the car and you can't get things organized as quickly as you'd like to, your attitude, of course, comes through to the client. And the same with the client. The client has the same sort of dilemmas before they even see you. And so we need to, and often we see that as an attitude, and maybe it's just we've had a difficult morning, but we can't let it show. Okay. Values, of course, our values are that we care about people, and of course they care about getting the right information. Beliefs, wants, feelings, expectations, all those things are really worth looking at, especially with your businesses. So if you sat down with your business colleagues and talked about what attitudes do we have, what values do we have, what are the beliefs, wants, feelings, and expectations of our business, then you're more likely to appeal to your clients, okay? And that moment of truth is when all of a sudden you feel like, I've got the sale. I've got the sale. I've won that person over, and they really feel comfortable, and they're leaving with a great feeling about our business. Okay, so that's what the service context is. Of course, this is a very minor overview of this, but it really is a useful tool. Okay, so moving on, customers. So how does personality, which we wanted to talk about, and understanding our preferences affect sales? So sales are made when needs are met. We all know that. Customers have both a product and service need. So they're coming for a need, they want to buy something, but they also need a personal approach, to have a personal approach need as well. So the issues of a
I'll turn my camera off.
No, it's fine.
style, and we know that too. We've felt that ourselves, and many times probably in the past. So you can predict the different personality styles and increase the sales effectiveness by just understanding your own type preferences and how you behave with your client and apply them to selling.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at some behavioral clues with clients, and then we'll look at some.
I don't even have 20 people.
So we need to provide alternatives Tiny to present alternatives to you of methods of working with your client. Okay, so moving on, I'm on an odd computer here, so just bear with me for a second. Need to move down. Okay, so let's understand you first. So finding your comfort zone, as I said in the beginning, finding your comfort zone is really important. If you're not in your comfort zone to start with, how can we stretch you out of it? So we want to get you in your comfort zone and know where you get your energy from before we can talk about where the client gets theirs from. So this is where the magic happens. Okay, you can see this picture here. If you're outside of your comfort zone, outside of this, we want to get you into that. Okay, so let's have a look. So moving down, you can see that there's 4 opposites here. Where do you get your energy from? How do you take in information? And this is where the client takes the information into what you're giving. How do you make decisions? How that person makes decisions on buying from you. So how do you convince them to buy from you? And how you think others may see you as well. So there's 4 opposites, 4 dichotomies. Okay. Now let's look at the first one. Where do you get your energy from? And we'll have a look at you personally. Let's have a look at that. So extroverts and introverts, and we are sort of aware of this because extroverts, we believe, are loud and noisy, and introverts are very quiet. Well, it's not always the case. Extroverts get their energy from other people. Okay, they get their energy from you. So if you're an extrovert and your client is an extrovert, you can be both more talkative, energetic, overly enthusiastic to the task. You can be extremely obliging to that person because you're a good match. You have your moment of truth with an extrovert and an extrovert. If you're an introvert, however, you're more of a reflective person, may not show your enthusiasm outwardly, but you do feel it the same, and you get your energy from yourself. So obviously, if we're looking at observing who our client is, we can look at the extrovert. Our clients are an extrovert, more talkative, energetic, or enthusiastic, and or they're more reflective and may not show their enthusiasm even though they feel it. So extroverts answer questions immediately. When you ask a question, they'll answer you immediately. But introverts think about it, and they think about what, they're pretty quiet to start with. And that's sometimes, as I said, a bit of a sales trick because we need to give them that time to think about what you're saying, okay? So extroverts interrupt one another. We all do. I'm an extrovert and I know I do. So that. And introverts will wait to see who will answer first. Okay. Extroverts may sit closer to each other, but introverts may keep more physical distance. So there's a little overview of the first moment of truth with a client on extrovert or introvert. However, there is more. There's more. Okay. So I'm sure by now you would have seen what you are personally. Now, this is a bit of fun. If you don't know what an extrovert is thinking, you haven't been listening. And if you don't know what an introvert is thinking, ask. So always ask when someone's quiet. Does that make sense? Is that something you're interested in? Should I help you with more things or however? Okay. So extroverts look outside first and inside first, their own energy. Okay. So preferences. Now, this is something we need to be. As I said to you, there are 4 opposites. One is where do we get our energy from, which is extroverts and introverts. Second one is how we take in information. Now, these 2 middle ones are really critical in the sales environment. How and the communication. So how that person takes in information is how do we tell it in the way that person needs to hear it? And then how do we make decisions is how does that person make decisions? Do they take their time? Do they not? And I'll go through that a little bit now. And then how do others see it? So we see here, moving over to the left, where do we get our energy? Extroverts like being around others, share their thoughts easily. Introverts get their energy from themselves and like to think things through. Okay. How we take in information? Sensing people, like the 5 senses. Does it taste? Does it taste good? Does it smell good? Does it look good? That's sensing. There's facts and details that person wants, and they like tried and true. They like you to give examples of where it's worked before for them. And an intuitive person is more creative, okay? So they focus on the future and they form a picture, and we need to form a picture in their minds of what they're going to get. So you'll find that if you have a sensing person that loves the facts, so you may get a husband and wife, the gentleman would like the facts and the lady would like, well, I would love to have, she uses terms like, I would love to have this, or I think this would be fabulous. And they use more adjectives, okay? So we need to form a picture in their minds, but we also need to give facts and details. So it's recognizing how they need to take in information. How we make decisions is, you know, a thinking person, someone who's very factual needs, they're very questioning, and they do come across as quite blunt sometimes. So I think they can appear critical, as we can see here. So don't be put off by this. They're not really critical. They just like to ask lots of questions and get everything confirmed in their minds. And feeling people like everything to be personal. So so that's a way of talking to them about how they make their decisions. Finally, the last one, how do others see us? Are judging and perceiving people. Judging people are planful. They're not judgmental, they're just planful. They like to plan things. They like you to keep your promises. So if you say you get back to them by 5 o'clock on Tuesday, you get back to them by 5 o'clock on Tuesday. And a perceiving person likes to leave things open. So sometimes you have to remind them, would you like this product? Because I've had it on hold for you for a while. Okay, so they need to be pressure prompted a little bit. Now, there's lots more information on this, so we could go into this quite deeply, and we will do it on another date, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But you can see the 4 opposites here, extrovert and introverts. That's the way we see the world. Sensing and intuition, how we take in information, thinking and feeling, ways to come to conclusions, and then judging and perceiving is ways to approach the outside world, how we manage ourselves. Are we easygoing, perceiving, or are we organized, highly organized? That's a simplified version, okay? Why do customers leave us? This is something that's a really strange thing. Why do customers leave us? Well, 3% leave for convenience, okay? So it may be that they move interstate and they need a fridge, and they need to buy a fridge, and it's local, so it's convenience. It's nothing against you personally. Miscellaneous reasons, that's, you know, that people don't need the product basically anymore. Product and price, only 15% leave you because of the price. And so that's a really big question to ask yourselves. Are we, you know, is price the motivator for your client? Is the relationship at a higher level? In other words, you know, if you're selling, if you're an accountant, for example, and someone's cousin becomes an accountant, then obviously they're going to leave you to go to that relationship because that's their friend. This is the worry. Perceived indifference. What makes you different to everybody else? And that perceived indifference, 68% of the population will move because of the perceived indifference between you and someone else. And so we have to find our competitive advantage and give them that reason to stay with us. And that's really getting to understand that client a lot more than just what can I do for you today? It's really understanding and listening and hearing what they're about. Okay, Now, this is interesting for those of you who are in technology, is that it's been proven that the way we sell has to change post-COVID. Okay, the way we sell has to change post-COVID. This expression is so true. The more we create technology, the more we create a compensatory human balance in order to handle it. So the more technology we create, the more people want to gather. And there's a noticeable difference now post-COVID that people want that connection. Online shopping is decreasing because they want the personal connection, and so to go shopping is an experience. And so we're herd animals. We need that interaction. Okay, so bear that in mind. So using our differences constructively is really critical in relationship building and getting the message over to our clients and really connecting with our clients and finding that moment of truth. So becoming aware of our differences, acknowledging the value of differences, practicing new behaviors with those clients, seeking out others with differences is critical, actually, and not always looking for the same type of person as ourselves, and incorporating different perspectives into our own processes. So what we're doing is, just think of a customer you've had recently that you think, I just didn't find that moment of truth with that client. How could I have done it better? How could I have looked at that more objectively and thought, you know what, I could have done a little bit more. I could have seen it from that person's perspective. Maybe they did need more facts and rather than me waffling on for ages, or maybe they did need more care and attention, a little bit more care and attention, and demonstrate it more. So do be aware of this. Do be aware of this. Now, further on, just to finish off, I just wanted to express to you that I hope you found a few little tips in here that will help you, just a brief overview of the consumer behavior and your own behavior as well. But in the new year, I will be running some longer and hopefully face-to-face courses that deliver a lot deeper understanding of how you work yourself and how you present to a client, and how your client sees you as well, and how that relationship, you can find a deeper moment of truth with that client and keep those clients as best friends forever, basically. I really want you to win every quote and win every relationship, and so you've got a customer for life, basically. So please don't hesitate to call me. My details are on the screen here. Please don't hesitate to call me or register your interest in further training, and hopefully we can do it face to face, and we can have lots of fun and activities that will highlight some really critical areas of consumer behavior and understanding yourself and understanding your client. Then I can let you know when they'll be held. So thank you for your attention today. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.